Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you not episode 3 of Dinkum. Technically, this is the 5th episode recorded, but there's not going to be any new gameplay in this video. So if you don't want to just watch a recap, then just wait for the next episode to come out. So, I'm still getting used to my new computer, and it apparently doesn't like my microphone, in the sense that it keeps disconnecting it from OBS even though nothing's getting unplugged or anything. So, me, not knowing this, recorded episodes 3 and 4 of Dinkum, because those were meant to be coming out today and on Wednesday. But obviously, if there's no audio, I'm not just gonna upload my gameplay of me silently playing. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna recap what happened, any big things that happened in that episode, accompanied with the audio overlaid by my current voicing track, and then, well, that's going to be what this catch-up episode is. Okay, so day 5, which was the first day for episode 3. We started out by visiting John's new permanent shop. We saw he now sells a furnace, a stone grinder, a barbecue, the normal range of tools that he was selling, an old gear, a mine pass, don't know what that's for, a metal detector, which we bought, a torch, the table saw, and a machine manual, and this tells you what can go into which machines. We bought this cursed jackaroo hood from Fletch as the daily task for her, and the fact that this is called a jackaroo explains why the kangaroos have horns. We bought some more licenses from Fletch, specifically level 1 farming, level 1 tool belt, which adds another slot to the toolbar, level 1 cargo, which adds 3 more slots to the inventory. We made another storage chest because our one was getting pretty full. We started out our orchard with apples and banana trees. Basically, you dig a hole, you press the drop button with the fruit to put it into the hole, and then you cover it back up with the soil you've dug. This farm would later be expanded to include bush limes on day 7, and we were going to add quandongs into it, but I saw that it would need some earth moving, and never actually got around to doing that in either of the recordings. We then went metal detecting for a bit, and to do this, you just hold the use button. When you're within 1 block of the treasure in any direction, the beeping will start going faster, and you'll see this little pulsing circle on the block, and then when you find the block that has the treasure under it, the pulsing and the beeping will get a lot more aggressive. And through this, you're able to find more of the rusty barrels that break open into the components. You're able to find loose versions of these components. It's either up to 3 or up to 5, I can't quite remember. Or this bin suitcase thing that contains even more components than the barrel does. Moving on to day 6, we had our first visitor since building his shop, and this guy's name is Theodore. Unfortunately, we couldn't really interact with him much, other than him asking us to talk with Fletch about us building him a museum. So obviously he's going to be our next permanent resident, but unlike John, we can't actually do stuff with him until then. We had to take out a shark that was swimming in the channel between Fletcher's tent and John's store, which drops flake. We tried to collect some palm wood from the Cassowary Plateau, but that was a little hard with them trying to kill me as I was cutting down the trees. I decided I wanted to see what I'd get from killing an echidna. And besides my own ass handed to me, the answer is nothing. It dropped a bone and nothing else. I found out that if you hold in the use button and the collect button at the same time when you're destroying something, it automatically collects. I decided to check out the sparking radio tower to see what its whole deal was, and this seems to be what the components are for. The one near our base was asking for 3 green boards, 2 hot cylinders, 1 shiny disc, 8 bright wires, and 1 smooth slate. I ended that day by talking about how I wanted to build the animal trap and the collection point, but I didn't have the materials to do it, so I just pinned it before the end of the episode. Moving on to episode 2, which would have been next Wednesday's episode 4 in total. I started the video off by showing how cursed this jackaroo hood makes my character look in the menu. We then tried our hand at fishing, which was an interesting experience because it's a lot more intricate than I would have thought. Basically, to reel in the fish, you just hold in the use button and your character reels it in. However, in this game the fish actually fights back, so I found out that if you're holding in the button while it's trying to fight away, it actually damages your fishing rod. Whereas if you're just rapidly tapping it while it's fighting and then hold it in while it stops, that seems to work without damaging it. One of the cassowaries was going to attack me as I came out of John's store, so I had to kill it. It tried running to the other one for help when it was nearly dead, so had to kill that one too. And then, other than our daily task for Fletch and John, we didn't actually do much besides spend the afternoon metal detecting in hopes of finding the green boards and hot cylinders. Then, at the end of the day, we were quite far away from our tent, so rather than trekking all the way back there, I wanted to see what happens if you ran out of stamina. So I just stood around trying to catch a couple things and found out. The answer is you pass out and wake up the next morning in your tent. So I don't know who comes and collects you. There's also this milestone that we got that says you lose stuff when you die. Found out that you can try to use a bug that you're holding, and this gives you the option to put it on the ground inside a little tank. So if you have like a lot of bugs, I'm assuming fish and maybe the yabbies and all that, and it's a Sunday, to clear up your inventory because you can't put them in a chest, you can just like put them on the ground everywhere. We met up with Rain, who sells seeds and other farming equipment, and who, I'll admit, I was not the nicest to as I was reading her dialogue in the voice that I gave her, because she says like a lot in her sentences, so I sort of adopted a stereotypical bimbo voice for her. She did get her revenge by requesting the 4 giant drumsticks I had after killing the cassowaries, so I never did get to eat those, and now basically only food is fruit. I bought the basics of farming off of her, the watering can and the hoe. as well as 2 of each of the seeds that she was stocking. These being onions, which grow over a week's time during summer and spring, and they yield 3 onions when harvested. The other was watermelons, which grow during summer. It doesn't actually give a time frame, and these require a block, I assume a block space, around them as they grow onto other tiles. We discovered that the bulbous tree behind John's shop, they're called bottle trees, and their logs can be used to create hardwood planks, so I guess that's how you're meant to do that before you can, I'm guessing, upgrade your axes to take out these darker trees. Finally decided it was time to make the cooking table, since we've had a couple daily tasks ask for something to be crafted in it, and I had a good laugh at the options that were available, and of course the description of the sausage roll, but we found out that there was nothing that we were actually able to make at our current game stage, so obviously you can get tasks that you can't do, and you just have to let them be. And finally, we ended up making the animal trap and collection stations, and then we began the first mission of the Jackaroo Space program. And of course, I did make the comment, he must go, his planet needs him. But yeah, that's basically everything that happened in those 2 episodes, of note anyway. We will be doing normal episodes starting on Wednesday. That's going to be episode technically 4, but actually episode 5 of gameplay, which will be days 9 and 10. But yeah, regular schedule will be back up on Wednesday. It's just, I wanted you guys to fill it in, well, be filled in by this, and I didn't want to just upload the entire videos with no audio. I'll catch you in the next one.